So really quick, we have this part of the show that's called the debrief. It's quickly becoming the most popular part of the show. One of your colleagues, Representative Escobar, she actually sang a song to answer one of these questions. So before I let you go, it's time for a segment. It's time for the debrief. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions and you give me the first answer that comes to your mind. So you can only keep one album, Ready to Die or Blueprint.
Blueprint.
Really?
Now, here's why. Because,
I'm shocked.
well, here's why. Blueprint was part of a moment that also involved this iconic back and forth between two New York titans. In fact, two global hip hop titans. Blueprint, Jay-Z, Stillmatic, Nas, and of course, this back and forth between them that was one of probably the most iconic rap battles in American history. And Blueprint in and of itself was it was an amazing album outside of Takeover, which of course prompted Nas's response.
Ether.
Ether. And that's why tough call. Can only choose one album. I think for those reasons, I'd go with Blueprint.
I like that argument. And of course, that is a well-reasoned argument from a lawyer. All right. So you kind of already answered number two. So build your Mount Rushmore of Brooklyn hip hop. Who makes the cut?
So, well, definitely Biggie, right? At the top.
Yep.
Of course, Jay-Z. I think I would go with Little Kim
Yes.
and Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was a hard one. Okay. I don't disagree.
Wait,
I think I got
where
stuck.
you at on number four?
What, I think four is great. I got stuck on Kim between Kim and Fox. That's always my kind of go back and forth between Kim and Fox. But I think that's a great Mount Rushmore. We'll see what the people have to say about that.
It's a good back and forth. Little Kim and Foxy Brown, I agree entirely. To tell
Yeah.
them into this conversation. But in fact, I lived on the block for a couple of years, same block with Foxy Brown.
Oh wow.
But I think, with Little Kim, and particularly, when she dropped, that feature with Mobb Deep,
Yeah, man. Ooh, Kim's
crazy,
features.
right?
Yeah,
And
her
everybody
features.
was right. Her feature was crazy, but everybody was saying, "Nah, Little Kim ain't writing her stuff. It's Biggie." Little
Yep.
Kim was writing her stuff. There was probably some collaboration, but Biggie was in heaven at that point in time when she dropped that iconic verse with Mobb Deep, and so she had continuity, and so I think she just edges out Foxy Brown.
You're right. I mean, it's a great argument. I mean, Kim's features alone makes me rethink the between Kim and Fox
Yeah,
because you put on any feature that Kim was on back in the day in any club still today, you're going to the dance floor immediately because you're going to remember that moment.
right.
Um, all right. So, what's the most underrated neighborhood in New York City?
Great question. The most underrated neighborhood in New York City. I say East New York. I'm honored to represent East New York now. Of course, when you think of Black Brooklyn, you traditionally think of Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Yeah.
You think of an iconic neighborhood in Brooklyn, you would usually think of Coney Island just because of how Coney Island relates. But East New York has an incredibly long history. At one point, it was more predominantly actually Italian. In fact, the early scenes in Goodfellas club that existed was in East New York.
Mm.
And then of course East New York transitioned, over time and became predominantly African American, some Caribbean American, some Puerto Rican. But to this day, has retained, so much richness and culture, working class. I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to work hard to help bring the Shirley Chisholm State Park in East New York to life.
Mm.
And it's a wonderful location to visit, very underappreciated, but everybody who goes to visit it, and it's off Jamaica Bay, off the water, a lot of greenery. And it is another one of the reasons, why I say that neighborhood is underappreciated in Brooklyn.
Well, that's wonderful. Shout out to the Shirley Chisholm Park. I hear Congressman Jeffrey saying y'all need to go and support the park is what I hear you saying.
Support the iconic Shirley Chisholm.
There we go. There we go. Okay, so speaking of New York, if your life had an opening movie montage, let's think Belly. All right. What's the soundtrack for you? What's that opening montage? What's that song?
That's a great question. I think this will come from Ready to Die, and it's actually my favorite song on Ready to Die, which is Unbelievable. It's one of my favorite songs, not just Biggie songs, one of my favorite hip hop songs. And, now I represent Bedford-Stuyvesant. I grew up in Crown Heights, but spent a lot of time at my grandmom's in Bedford-Stuyvesant on Putnam and Lewis. Grew up in the Cornerstone Baptist Church, heart of Bedford-Stuyvesant, iconic Black church. That Black church experience, as you referenced, is a big part of who I am as well. I'm so thankful for that and still, worship at the Cornerstone Baptist Church. But that song, both the title, Unbelievable, right? I mean, because the fact that we were all able to come from what we came from, working class background during the heart of the crack cocaine epidemic, eventually be able to practice law, go into public service, serve our community. And the way that song starts is so hard. Live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the livest one, representing BK to the fullest.
That's you. That's you all day. I can see the opening shot. I can see it. Hype, what you doing? Like, we need this ASAP.
Right, let's get on this, Hype. Let's get on this.
I can see the opening shot. All right, so last question. We've talked about Brooklyn, Biggie, foreign policy, and leadership. If 12-year-old Hakeem Jeffries could see you today, what do you think he'd say?
He would be happy, one, that I was able to live long enough to see the New York Knicks win a championship.
As a Saints fan, I get it.
I'm gonna throw some names out there that the 12-year-old Hakeem Jeffries was watching, Rory Sparrow and Marvin Webster and Louis Orr and others, may rest in peace. This was the Knicks that I was growing up on before Patrick Ewing was drafted, and then we had a period of some close calls. But growing up, it was rough, and so, but I do think that a 12-year-old Hakeem Jeffries would be surprised that I had the opportunity to actually serve in elected office, initially in the state legislature, and then now, of course, in the United States Congress during a very challenging moment. I guess when I was 12, that would meant Reagan was president. My first introduction to politics, actually, through hip hop, would have been that classic Biz Markie line, Reagan was the pres, but I voted for Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, wow.
I think you're right. And I think about that because now I represent the district that Shirley Chisholm in large part represented. And when I was 12, that would have been her last year in office.
Wow. Look at that. That just gave me goosebumps. I didn't even know that. That is powerful. Leader Jeffries, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining Nola Haynes is Not a Spy today. I mean, I genuinely wanted this to be a very special and different type of conversation because, the conversation on social media, for the life of me, I don't know what people want you to do. I don't know if they want you to put on like a Superman costume and fly through the city. Like, I just don't know what they want you to do. I'm like, this man is putting up the wins, holding a caucus together. Like, what do y'all want from him?